Hello, my name is Bob Ross, and I'd like to welcome you to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about Isiah Thomas and his thoughts on modern day basketball and modern day offenses and stuff like that. Isiah Thomas, basketball great. We already know who he is, second greatest point guard of all time behind Magic. A hater of Michael Jordan, so he would always like to give props to this era because that is, by way of giving props to this era, he gave props to LeBron James, who he wanted to prop up against Michael Jordan in that all-time GOAT debate, right? So seeing that he would, make comments about how this offense is, he really mean it. He's probably really disgusted with it, which is, cool for me to hear because I've been saying the same thing about these offenses. I hate the high screen and roll action when you're doing it for four whole quarters the entire game. It's one thing to run that offense, in the crunch time maybe when you're trying to simplify everything, right? But the high screen and roll is so simplified. It's so elementary, and to see everyone doing it now, it's just insane. It's just insane, man. So we're gonna get into all that stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna open the phone lines today. We'll see, because I kind of want to get in here and get everything done really quick, and let y'all go ahead and enjoy y'all Halloween. Because I don't know if y'all giving out candy or y'all going trick or treating with the kids or what y'all going to go do, watch scary movies or whatever. I'm going to go paint right after this. I'm going to go paint. I already done a picture of LeBron. You can see the LeBron painting I did over there. So I got that done earlier. So I got to do one of maybe Kobe or something like that too, right? So let's listen to what Isiah Thomas said.
Hear me when I say this. I do think that while we talk about the players evolving, I'm not sure our coaches have evolved as much as our players have. And there used to be a time when coaching in the NBA, everyone had their own different style, right? Hubie Brown didn't coach like Pat Riley. Phil Jackson had a totally different system than Billy Cunningham. We played totally different than the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Bulls. There were different styles. So when they say it's a copycat league, back then that was an insult. Back then that was an insult to say you are copying somebody else's stuff.
Good call.
Because everyone had their own style. And coaches would get fired or whatever. Now, coaches got fired back then because of personality conflicts. You never saw an NBA coach and said, oh, that guy don't know what he's doing. You never saw a coach and you could say that guy didn't know what you're doing. When I look at the NBA now, it's the same. Like you say, everybody runs 5 out, right? We never ran a triangle. We never ran Boston's 3-5, with Bird and Perry. We never played like that. We had our own style. When you look at the 5-out style right now, Brendan, there's really only one play. That's high screen and roll. It's high screen and roll, and then you got to be good enough to dribble, drive, draw somebody, and kick it to the 3-point line. They eat the same. They talk the same. Their cultures are the same. Their language are the same. They dress the same. They fly out at the same. They wear the same clothes. And how about this? When you look at the NBA right now, everybody is the same size and the same body type. Same.
So Isiah is not lying, right? So I've been saying this for years, man. Ever since I had this podcast, I've been talking about that 5-man out high screen and roll. It does a couple of things. One, it dumbs down the offense, and it also kind of amplify one or two guys, whoever your playmakers are, your best player or your second best player. A lot of times, this is something that LeBron used, when he was with Cleveland, and either he was making a play or Kyrie was making a play, and it worked. But whenever he lost Kyrie, they couldn't, it didn't work as well. It was a lot of heavy lifting on him, because they wasn't designed to have another guy to replace Kyrie, or because I think in order for you to kind of win that way, you got to have a couple of things. You got to have your best player has to be as dominant, as good as LeBron. So you got to have someone that's a top 10 player, and then your co-star has to be an even better scorer than LeBron, which Kyrie was, right? So which also Wade was as well, right? So you have to have that in place to run it, or else it's not going to work. What it's going to do is going to get your best player a lot of good numbers. They're going to be in the MVP race because those numbers, they're going to get the assists, they're going to get the points, and they're going to get the rebounds because they're resting on defense, right? So they're going to have triple-double stats. And if you put enough pieces around him, maybe you can win some games that way. So you'll be in playoff contention, which always put your best player in MVP contention, right? And we've seen that with LeBron, Luka, Jokic, Harden, Westbrook, all people who run that offense, right? But what we've also seen with Harden is that he didn't have a second guy that can run it for him. I mean, he got CP3 1 year, but putting CP3 off the ball while Harden runs that system, and then they didn't run high screen and roll the way they ran it with Harden with CP3. They did something different with CP3, so it was kind of not the same. But he only had CP3 1 or 2 years, maybe. He got hurt in the playoffs one of those years. So, but most of the time Harden was in Houston, he couldn't actually get past the Warriors. He couldn't get it to work. As good as Harden was in his prime, it was him by himself, and everyone else was either setting a screen for him and rolling, or standing at the 3-point line waiting for a pass. And it's almost like a 2-on-5, really. I mean, because really is only two people involved in the offense. Like Isiah Thomas said, you're running one play all game, which is the high screen and roll. Exactly what you're doing. Harden would come down, he'll get a high screen and roll from, if it was Clint Capella, then he's rolling. So it's gonna be Clint Capella. He's gonna screen, he's gonna roll. Harden's gonna come down, and depending on how you defend it, either he goes all the way to the hole for a layup, or he throws the lob to Clint. Right. And if nothing gets created off that high screen and roll, he won't even get downhill for the layup. He'll just, okay, now I got a mismatch. Everybody spread, and let me go ISO step back 3. So that's the offense that Harden ran. That's the offense that Luka ran in Dallas, and now they're implementing with the Lakers. And we'll get more on that later because we got to talk about Austin Reaves. But that's also the offense that Westbrook was running in with the Thunder, and it was made famous by LeBron James with Cleveland. And now everyone is doing it with their best player. 5-man out, high screen and roll. Let's get something off there. Golden State has always been a more sophisticated offense, but they're even gearing toward that high screen and roll, which I hate. But they still got the implements of their triangle and Draymond in the high post or the low post. They still get a lot of backdoor cuts and stuff like that. Steph's still running off screens like crazy, creating offense for others. So they're doing it a little bit different. But I watched them play last night in a loss to Giannis and the Bucks. Well, Giannis wasn't playing, but they lost to the Bucks, and I watched them play last night, and it was a lot of high screen and roll from them. And I'm like, man, that's it's bad when the Warriors was doing it too. But Isiah is telling the truth. It's a bad offense. It's very bad to see the entire league doing it. Lamar Odom talked about it when he was on a podcast with Shannon Sharp. He said, man, everyone's doing the same thing. Give your best player the ball, spread the floor, run high screen and roll, and just let him cook. And just pass the ball to other people, if help comes. It's like, it's very boring to watch. Very boring. And it's all elements and pieces of basketball offensively that we don't get to see. The low post is an element of basketball that's also art to me, which is fitting for, because artwork is what I do. I'm Bob Ross, right? So low post is artwork for me. The high post is artwork. The mid post is artwork. Setting screens for a shooter running off screens, whether it, be Reggie Miller style or Rip Hamilton style, that's artwork. Anything that happens off ball is artwork. Off ball movement, cutting, off ball screens to try to get somebody like Vince Carter open for a lob. All those things is still artwork, but all we're stuck with now is 5 men standing at the 3-point line, best player with the ball, screen setter comes to set the screen, and they're the only 2 players moving. Everyone else is stationary inside of a phone booth, and they're just as far away as possible to create space for this high screen and roll action that we got going on, because it doesn't work if the lane is clogged. Lane has to be wide open so we can get the high screen to work, right? And then so it's harder to help off the shooters. But the shooters are just standing there, just standing still in a phone. Imagine a parking lot with 3 phone booths, and you got 3 players just sitting in that phone booth. They can't operate in the parking lot. They stuck in the phone booth. They got to score from inside of a phone booth. But you got your best player with the ball and the screen setter are the only ones that are moving inside the entire parking lot. Everyone else is stuck in the phone booth, just standing there. Come on, Bob Ross. Everyone else is stuck inside of the phone booth, just waiting for something to happen. The ball got to come to them in order for them to shoot it. But your best player got all the freedom in the world to do whatever he wants, and the screen setters got freedom as well to move around. But that's pretty much it. And what happens is off that screen, they try to get something going. If they can't get the roll popping for a screen, for a lob, then they just kick the ball out, or to the other side, and somebody else try to run the same high screen and roll action, right? So like last night when I'm watching the Warriors, you got Steph. He'll come down. He'll get a high screen from probably Al Horford, right? Al Horford a roll. If they defend it well, where there's no pocket pass for Al Horford because he's done catching lobs, but there's no pocket pass for Al Horford to get, that means that someone must have rotated to stop the roll. So now what Steph is doing is kicking the ball to where the rotation just came from on the defense and kicking it to him. But if he don't get a 3 off their ball reversal and they still defend it well, Al Horford got to run right back out and set another screen for that guy to try to do it again. And they run that 2 or 3 times within a 24-second shot clock. And then if they don't get a shot off of that high screen and roll action, whoever got the ball last has to go one-on-one, and it always ends up being a step back 3 almost every single time. A step back 3. Horrible to watch. Horrible. And we got to watch that unless we get a fast break. We get some type of defensive stop where we can get a fast break. Then we can see something different. But other than that, it's Groundhog Day all 4 quarters. High screen and roll, dish out, shoot. High screen and roll, dish out, and reset, and high screen and roll again, dish out, shoot. Very bad, right? But yeah, like I said, Lamar Odom talked about it. I think now Isaiah is saying something about it. I've heard DeAndre Jordan say something about it. Like they're saying that, like he said, and he's a guy who's been with the Clippers. He's been with Denver. He's been with, now who's he with now? He's with I don't know if he's with the Wizards. I don't know where he's at, but he's bounced around. He's been with Brooklyn. He's been in a lot of teams, and he was like, all 30 teams run the same exact offense. They just got different terminology. They call it something different. They call they set something different, but it's pretty much the same thing. That's an indictment on the league, man. That's trash. That's right. He said Mr. Rogers. No. Bob Ross, baby. Bob Ross. Don't mistake me for Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, he don't have a skill. He don't know how to paint. Only thing he know how to do, he just know his way around the neighborhood pretty well. I paint. and I teach people how to paint, and I have a lot of masterpieces out here. So I wanted to talk about the Lakers, right? Because Austin Reaves is on a tear. And he's had a 51-point game or 40-plus point game lately. And this is all since Luka has been out. They started the season without LeBron. They had a couple of games with Luka. Then Luka went down with like a finger injury and something else ailing him, probably thickness. And then Austin Reaves went on a tear. And they're still winning games without Luka and LeBron. Austin Reaves looking very good. So 51-point game in a win, a 40-plus point game in a win. He just hit the game winner recently. He didn't get 40 or 50, but I think he had like 25 and 15 assists plus the game winner. And that just goes to show you there's a lot of fool's gold out there in the NBA, right? First and foremost, the NBA, now that they're running the offense that Isiah said they're running, where it's just high screen and roll, dribble penetration, kick out, shoot the three. Everyone's doing that. And now that everyone's doing that, you only really need 1 to 2 guys that can create offense on your team. And then everyone else needs to be 3-point shooters, screen setters, and guys that can be versatile on defense and switch every screen. Right. So the guys that are getting contracts, like every team is like, okay, I got my Luka, I got my Kyrie. All right, now let's just go find nothing but 3 and D. I don't need him be in the low post. I just need someone who's an athlete, who's tall, who can block shots, rebound, and catch lobs and set screens. It'll be a bonus if he can also shoot threes like AD, right? Or Miles Turner or Al Horford. Right. Those big. So that's what I want you to look at. Every team that's, just look at the playoff teams. Don't look at the teams that, are not making the playoffs because they probably ain't caught on to everything yet or got the right pieces around them to be able to do this. But look at the playoff teams. It's probably 90% of them are set up like that. You look at Golden State, they got their playmaker, which is Steph, who can break down stuff off the offense with the ball, and then maybe Jimmy Butler. And then they expect everyone else to just like Draymond Green, set screens, pass the ball to your shooters, and just do that. Kuminga, the reason why they claim that he couldn't get minutes is because he didn't understand his role, right? We'll talk about that a little later as well because it's not quite that, but they said he didn't understand his role because he would want to take shots and he thought he was important in the offense, but nobody's important in the offense but Steph. He's the greatest shooter of all time. Find him, get him the ball. That's what they want, right? So everyone else are there to just serve those 2 playmakers. We only need 2 of them. Everyone else, you shoot threes, you set screens, you rebound, and then you play defense on the other end, right? Buddy Hield, they would chew him out if he tried to make a play. Your job is to spread the floor while Steph and Jimmy Butler do their thing, and if they pass it to you, you better be ready to shoot. When they go sit down, then they allow Pozinski, they allow him to make some plays. They allow Kuminga to make some plays. But there's only 1 or 2 guys on the floor at one time that are authorized to make plays in those offenses. Same thing with Denver. Only Jamal Murray and Jokic are authorized to make plays in that offense. Everyone else, either a specialist as a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, or a screen setter, a lob threat, like, Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's both. He's a lob threat. He's a catch and shoot. Every now and then he can get something off schedule. They're not going to design anything for him to get anything in the post or anything, but if it just happens to get to that point, he can make a play like that. He's got that type of freedom, but they're not designing anything for Aaron Gordon. Just like they didn't have anything designed for Michael Porter Jr. Everything is designed for those 2 playmakers, Jamal Murray and Jokic. Everyone else, shoot threes, set screens, space the floor, or slash like Christian Braun. You slash. Westbrook, you slash when he was there, right? Bruce Brown, you slash. Now that he developed the 3-point shot, you can shoot the 3 as well. But they're not going to let them get the ball and create that. You're never going to see them set no screens. And a lot of people are fooled by that and think that these people can't do it. Back to Austin Reaves and the Lakers. I was just talking to someone a couple of weeks ago, and they telling me that Luka runs that offense because nobody else can create. And I'm like, you think Austin Reaves can't create? I said, Austin Reaves is basically the Jalen Brunson in this offense when he was with the Mavs. Everyone kept telling me Jalen Brunson can't create. Only reason why Luka is doing it because there's no shot creators and playmakers on the team. I was like, you think Jalen Brunson can't create his own shot and playmake? I seen him do it in college. Are you serious? And then in the first round of the playoffs when Luka was hurt, he goes off against Utah. I'm like, I told you this dude. What are y'all talking about? Like it looks like that because they're not allowed to. They're only allowing 1, maybe 2 people to play, make and make plays and create offense. Everyone, and they're only signing guys that can just stand around, that want to stand around. Right. So my whole point is this. Now that Luka is out and LeBron is out, and we have to run that high screen and roll offense with Austin Reaves, ain't it funny that the exact same numbers that we go crazy about for Luka, Austin Reaves is able to get those same numbers, which goes back to what I was telling everybody before. If you're very good, especially if you are a perimeter player, you're a guard, and you have on-ball skills, you can dribble, pass, shoot, you can create your own shot, all of those things. You can draw a double team, you can get to the hole, whatever the case may be. You don't even have to be on the all-star level, right? If you're Jamal Murray, if you're Tyler Hero, if you're Austin Reaves, Jalen Brunson before he got to New York, it don't matter who it is. Even Jordan Poole probably could do it. If you're any of those guys that can hit shots, play, make, create, pass, all that stuff, I guarantee you, if they give you the offense and say, we're going to set screens for you for 4 quarters, we're going to stand everyone else on the perimeter, and all their shots are going to come off of your pass, and then you got the green light as a scorer, you're gonna get 20 plus points a game, depending on how many shots you take. And if your team is good, right, it's possible you can get 24 to 25 points a game, but you're going to get at least 20 points a game if you're taking 25 shots a game. You got the green light. And then if the offense is high screen roll, spread the floor 5-man out, and you make the play, you can pencil you in for 10 assists as well. So the same 25 and 10 that Luka is getting, you can get from Austin Reaves. Ain't that funny? That just goes to show you that these numbers can't be trusted. You can't look at people's numbers and just that and say that they're the best. You can't look at people's numbers and say they're MVPs, especially when they run a high screen and roll 5-man out offense where it's only authorized for you to be able to make a play, you or one other person. You're reducing your team down to only 2 people can make a play on schedule. Either Murray or Jokic. Everyone else, y'all catch and shoot. Either Luka or LeBron. Everyone else, y'all catch and shoot. Either Steph or Butler. Everyone else, y'all catch and shoot. Well, it's a little bit different because they run a real offense in Golden State. So I'm going to stop using them as an example. Right? So, I mean, it's just so many other teams is running it like that. In Indiana, it was either Halliburton and I guess Mathurin off the bench and Siakam maybe. So in the starting lineup, it was really Halliburton and Siakam. Everyone else catch and shoot. Hardly nothing in the post, just all high screen and roll, dribble penetration, dish out, catch and shoot. Turner, catch and shoot. Nembhard, catch and shoot. Mathurin, catch and shoot. Everybody catch and shoot off of 2 people's playmaking. Horrible offense. So I'm with Isiah Thomas on that. let's get to some of these comments. Numbers lie, and people don't want to believe it. All right, I think I'm done with the Halloween costume. Hold on, let me get this off my face. Yeah. Bob Ross, y'all. All right, so numbers lie. People don't want to believe it. Only 1 or 2 players need real skills on teams anymore. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, yeah, that's crazy, man. JJ showing his amazing expertise as a coach. Yeah, right. Man ain't showing no amazing expertise, man. Somebody said I'm looking like Teen Wolf. All right, so last thing I want to get into, y'all, is what's going on in the NBA, because we're like our second week, going on our third week for the NBA, and I've seen a lot of things, right? So that was sarcasm. Okay, I got you. Let's go out west, right? You know, I think this might need to be updated. I think it's been another game, yeah, because the Spurs are 5-0. The Thunder might be 6-0. I don't know if they played last night, but most of these teams played. Since the last time, since when I made this graphic, there's been another game, because I made this graphic early yesterday, which means the teams that played last night is not going to be accurate. But here are the surprises, right? Because when we did a West prediction, I think most experts had the Spurs at the bottom of the barrel. And if I remember correctly, I think I said that they are sleepers, because if Wembanyama ever really figure out how dominant he can be, with more shots taken closer to the rim, with him actually attacking the paint and attacking the basket more than he settles for threes, if he actually started to do that, the league is in trouble. But until he realizes that he shouldn't be trying to play like Kevin Durant, and I don't think Kevin Durant should be playing like Kevin Durant. I think he should be attacking the rim more often as well. I think Wemby figured that out so far, and he's playing like the MVP right now, dog. On both ends of the floor, he's playing like the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year. Asia Wilson got the Defensive Player of the Year and MVP this season, and the championship. I don't think Wemby will get a championship, but he might be the first person since was it Mike or Hakeem was the last person to do it. I don't remember who was the last person to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. It may have been Mike. It may have been Hakeem. I had to double check on that. But Wemby could be that. He could be the Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP this season. They're 5-0, y'all, and they don't even have De'Aaron Fox yet. So they're starting. They're not starting Dylan Harper. They're starting the Rookie of the Year from last year, Castle. They're starting him at point and coming off the bench with Dylan Harper, who was Ron Harper's son, who was a really good first-round pick. I think he was a top 3 prospect coming out. It might have been Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, then Dylan Harper. He's living up to the hype coming off the bench as a backup. But they get Fox back soon. So I don't know how that lineup changes, what they do with Castle, what they do with Harper, which one of them be playing together, which one going to be backing up Fox. That's going to be very interesting. They got vets like Harrison Barnes out there helping out. I really like this Spurs team. You got to go check them out and watch them play. So that's the first surprise. All right. And the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway from that is that Wemby might be MVP and Defensive Player of the Year this year. So far, I got him winning. I mean, he's getting almost 5 blocks a game. And the crazy thing about it is his defense and his rim protection is almost like how Barry Bonds was when he was hitting all those home runs. Like, he still would lead the league in home runs while he was getting walked probably 75% of the time he got up to the plate. They're trying to walk him because there's especially if the bases was loaded or there was multiple people on base. Heck nah, we're not about to pitch to Barry Bonds. That's an automatic home run with runners on the with runners coming home. No, we're not pitching to him. So most of the time they wouldn't even pitch to him, and he still would find ways to get home runs enough to where he's at the top of the league with home runs. And that's what it is like with Wembanyama. They call it aura. Like they got a whole highlight reel of people driving to the basket, and as soon as they see Wembanyama, they don't even pick their dribble up to get ready for a layup. They just keep dribbling out of the paint and bring it back out to the 3-point line. And this is on fast breaks. Imagine being on a fast break. You got a step on Wemby, but you don't trust it enough to actually try to take that risk because he's blocked so many shots. So instead of you taking that risk, you just pull it back out and reset the offense. Like nobody's challenging him, but somehow he still ends up with 5 blocks. That's unreal, man. So I got him hands down for the defensive player of the year front runner right now. And then as far as MVP, there's no real front runner right now. But I mean, you could narrow it down to probably Wemby, SGA, maybe Jokic right now. Wemby, SGA, Jokic. You can give it to those 3, right? So that's the 3-headed race right now, in my opinion. No surprise with the Thunder. They're 5-0 without Jalen Williams. Their first 2 games was double overtime in both games, and they're pulling it out. They're getting everybody's best shots. They got not a rookie. They got a player off the bench named Mitchell. I don't know his first name. Start with an A. I forgot. Left-handed kid, can play. I don't know where he been hiding, but they found him a gym, right? Prayers up to their Nikola Topic, their rookie last year that missed their whole season for ACL, and then this year he got ruled out for a testicular injury that was reported before, but yesterday they just came out with a report saying that he gonna be going through chemo because they found cancer in his testicles. So and I want to say it was a player. Who was it? There was a player some years back who had that same thing, and he turned out fine. So prayers up to Nikola Topic. But the Thunder, business as usual. They might even be scarier. With what Mitchell doing off the bench. For some reason, Lou Dort hasn't found his shot. I haven't seen much of Caruso, but Mitchell has been that spark from the guard play other than SGA. And then that's only going to get stronger when Jalen Williams come back. And Chet Holmgren is hitting his threes a little bit more than he was in the playoffs. The Warriors, a little scary. They lost to the Bucks last night. You could say they scary, I guess. I guess the only thing you got to worry about with them with their age is getting everybody into the playoffs healthy. I think that'd be, but I don't. Their bench don't impress me at all. I love that Kuminga is starting. I don't buy that Kuminga's issue was that he didn't realize what his role was. That's why his minutes was getting taken away from him last year. I 100% believe the reason why the Warriors took away Kuminga's minutes because it was a contract year. They couldn't get him to agree to a contract, and he was an unrestricted free agent, which means not unrestricted. He was a restricted free agent, which means that he could sign a qualifying offer with another team, like leaving in free agency, but the Warriors have an opportunity to match whatever offer they sign. So if the Charlotte Hornets or the Indiana Pacers or someone was like, yeah, we want Kuminga this summer, and it was like, hey, Kuminga, we'll offer you this amount of money for this amount of years to sign with us. If he signs that and agrees with that, since he's a restricted free agent, the Warriors could look at it and be like, nah, we want to keep him and we'll sign him for that same amount of money. No more, no less. So basically, whatever his market value is out there on the open market is how much the Warriors are going to end up having to pay, test the market. So it was a cat and mouse game where Kuminga's agent was like, Y'all don't want to sign us for this amount of money. Well, we're just leaving free agents and get that money from another team. And the Warriors was like, well, guess what? We're not going to play you. That way, there's no team that's going to be interested because they don't know how good you are. If we put you on the floor and you ball out and average 24, now your agent can go to the daggone other team and be like, look, my client averages 24. The last player, his age, the average 24, got this amount of money. We want that or a little bit more. But when you're sitting on the bench the whole time, you don't give your agent any ammo to go and argue for a bigger contract. So what the Warriors was doing was keeping his value low. That way, if the team was interested, they're not going to sign him for a lot of money because it's an unknown commodity. It's an unknown. It's a mystery. I don't know what we're gonna get. We ain't even seen him play in a year hardly. Plus, even if they do think he's all that, I want to save money as well. So I'm telling his agent, look, you can't ask for this amount of money because your client didn't play none this year. I don't know what he could do. So this is what you're getting. So the Warriors played demonic negotiation with him and was like, all right, we're going to bench you. You're not going to play. And then we'll see how much you get on the open market this summer. And then whatever you get is probably going to be cheap. So we'll just match it. And it might be cheaper than what you're asking us for. So they played that cat and mouse game, and they reached an agreement this summer after both sides playing hardball. And now all of a sudden he's in the starting lineup, and Steve Kerr sent all these great things. Oh, he gets it now. Yeah, he knows that it's Steph's team. And come on, man, y'all was lying. That man was not getting on the court. And come on, man. Maybe his first season or his second season, maybe he was taking ill-advised shots, but they was trying to make it seem like he was just looking Steph off and didn't want to run off and get out of town, man. That man was not doing that. That was slandering that man, dog. But nonetheless, the Warriors, he said Kerr knows what he's doing. Well, I mean, yeah, they got him for a bargain pretty much. Yeah, Donald said that's 100% what happened. You have to watch him play. He always lost on the court. He can slash and that's it. Nah, I disagree. Dude averaging 16 points, being lost on the court right now. He averaging 16 points right now. And the number one option is Steph. The number two option is Jimmy Butler. As a number three, he's as a matter of fact, the Warriors don't never have, the only time they've had three scoring options was when KD was there. When KD was number one, Steph was number two, or however you want to put it. Steph was number one, KD was number two, and then Clay was number three. Other than that, everyone else is just there to fill slots, set screens, find the shooters, hustle, play defense, and hit open shots. But the options are KD, Steph, and Clay. And when KD wasn't there, the options was Steph and Clay. And when KD and Clay both left, the options was Steph and Jordan Poole and Clay. And then when that was gone, the options was Steph by himself. And then they went and got Jimmy Butler, and the options was Steph and Jimmy Butler. And that's still the number one and two option. There's no other options. So Jonathan Kuminga is getting 16 points just by being out there. Saying that he is always lost on the court and all he does is slashes, that's because that's all the Warriors allow for anybody else to do. I just name players on the floor, and you tell me what they do. Other than Pod, because Steve Kerr loves Pod, and he lets Pod do. Pod almost got Steph treatment, right? But so let's take Pod off the thing. Let's take what can Draymond do in this offense, Donald? Or anybody else can answer that question. What can Draymond do in this offense? All right. What could let's say who else was in this offense? Moses Moody. What can Moses Moody do in this offense? All right. What could What could Harrison Barnes do in this offense when he was there? What could Mo Spikes do when he was there? He said Dre is a spot up shooter, set screens, high pick and roll. Yeah. And the same thing with Jonathan Kuminga. He's a spot up shooter, but not by design. It's based on that's where you're supposed to be at. And when Steph break down the defense, everyone's a spot up shooter. Everyone's an option to spot up, sit up there and shoot. Okay, Moody, spot up shooter. Same thing with Kuminga. As a matter of fact, Kuminga got up more threes than Moody did last night, and probably hit more too. He said Kuminga can't run a high pick and roll. Well, Gosh Dolly, who else can run a high pick and roll? If Kuminga can, is Kuminga a power forward? Is he supposed to be running a high pick and roll? That's just like saying Pippen can't run a high pick and roll. Oh, you mean it? You mean as the ball handler or the screen setter? Who else can run well, don't run high pick and roll with him then. If he can't run high pick and roll, don't run it with him. I'm trying to figure out how that means that he can't do nothing but slash. That's not true. That's not true at all. Thank you, Simply Hot Takes. Everyone in that offense is a spot up shooter. Everyone, even the ones that can't shoot, unless you're the screen setter. Everyone's a spot up shooter, right? So Jonathan Kuminga, yeah, they took his minutes away from him for the contract stuff. It had nothing to do with what he couldn't do on the court or how he meshed with Steph. If that was the case, they would have just let him go. If he can't do nothing, then let him walk. Let him walk if he can't do nothing. All that fuss they did to keep him shows me that it's not true that he's not worth nothing. Right. So that's the Kuminga piece of it, right? What else we got going on in the West? Trailblazers are kind of surprising. Drew Holiday's had 3 really good games, the last 3 games over there. Shaedon Sharpe is a guy that I like just as much as Michael Porter Jr. Like, it's these under the radar players that got all-star potential but don't have the opportunity to reach that potential. And I think Michael Porter Jr. was one of those guys in the Denver offense. And I think Shaedon Sharpe, just being that he play on a bad team and a team that don't never get on TV, I don't think people know how good Shaedon Sharpe really is or could be. So y'all got to pay attention to him. I mean, even Anthony Simmons, when he was with the Blazers, another one of those guys I really like. Now he's with Boston. People's going to see more of him. But the Blazers are playing decent. I don't think 5th place in the West is where they're going to be at toward the All-Star break. I think everything will settle and they'll probably drop more toward that bottom where I see Dallas, Minnesota, Rockets, and Clippers at right now. I don't think 9, 10, 11, and 12 is where those 4 teams belong. But when you look at it, there's not a lot of room for upward mobility because the only teams I think would fall are the Blazers and the Utah Jazz. Good luck with the Grizzlies falling, because if they start to, gel and mesh again and figure themselves out, they usually are a tough team when Morant is healthy and JJJ is healthy. So they'll play you tough, right? But and the Clippers, they got some stuff to figure out as well. So maybe the Clippers don't rise too high. Maybe they're a play-in team most of the season. But I think the Rockets and the T-Wolves and the Mavs can dig themselves out of that ditch and pass Utah, Clippers, and Blazers, right? So we'll see how they go. But Blazers, the Lakers, I think we talked about them when we talked about Austin Reaves. Utah, surprisingly, Ace Bailey is not performing well yet. He's not even, if you look at the top 10 rookies, Ace Bailey is not even top 10 right now for me. And that's surprising. And I haven't yet to see a Utah game yet to see what the issue is. But I got to catch a Utah game to be able to tell. The Rockets got out to a slow start, but it wasn't really that much of a slow start because they played the champs so well and went into overtime with them. But they weren't clicking on all cylinders offensively. I could tell that they had some stuff they had to figure out and work out. But they played well enough on defense, and Sengun played pretty well. Durant played pretty well. They just need some more time. And they lost the first 2 games, but they're on a 2-game win streak now. And now they're back at 500. So look for them to go on some type of a run. Hopefully, if they continue to play good basketball in jail. But I trust Udoka to be able to right the ship or right the storm. Anthony Edwards missing time early with the T-Wolves kind of got me scared. And losing to a Lakers team with no Luka, that can't happen. And other than that, I think that's about it for the West. Going to the East, there's a surprise with the Bulls being undefeated and the Sixers being undefeated. I start with the Sixers because I haven't watched the full Chicago game yet to see what's clicking. But the Sixers, the rookie Edgecombe and freaking Tyrese Maxey. First and foremost, dog. Tyrese Maxey, dog. Look at as of 2 days ago, look at the scoring leaders. Tyrese Maxey is, dude, how's that your average right now, dog? He's leading the league in scoring, man, 37. Right? You see Austin Reaves there too as well, Larry Marketing, Shea, Giannis. I mean, that's insane. And then the rookie Ashton is right there behind them, averaging probably just below 30. I mean, these as a backcourt, they killing it, and they still ain't even got the rookie, the sharpshooter from Duke, McCain, that tore his ACL last season, that was on a tear last year because Maxey was hurt, and McCain came in as a rookie and was on a tear until he tore his ACL, no pun intended. They ain't even got him back yet. So getting him back give them more firepower off the bench and more shooting as well off the bench. On top of, once Embiid can clear those minutes restrictions that he's on, he becomes a weapon for them as well. Philly, man, and then they still got to get Paul George back. So imagine Paul George coming back healthy, McCain coming back healthy, and Embiid finally getting healthy where he can get off minutes restriction with Nick Nurse coaching them. Imagine what they could look like. Right. So those are things to look out for, man. Miami's playing pretty good. They got a top rated offense as far as points. Charlotte is surprisingly decent, even though Brandon Miller gets hurt every freaking 5 minutes, man. So they gonna need him. The Bucks just beat the Warriors last night without Giannis. You know what I mean? It's so much stuff to look forward to in the East and in the West. But those are the things I've seen so far, man. But just to end everything, Defensive Player of the Year, I got Wemby so far. For MVP, I got Wemby, Jokic, and SGA in the race. Rookie of the Year, I would have to say Edgecombe from Philly is leading the race right now. I'm gonna stop it there. I'm gonna say he's the front runner right now. But there's others, and Flag is coming. Most improved and 6-man. I need more time for that. Coach of the Year, I need more time for that. Last thing I get on is this Dallas situation, though. Starting 18-year-old, 6'10", small forward, Cooper Flag as a rookie at point guard was a mistake for Jason Kidd. I hope he realizes it. He has D'Angelo Russell, who's a starter, and a former All-Star who's still in his prime, put him in the starting lineup, let him find Cooper Flag and find PJ Washington and find Clay and AD, let him find them for their points. I mean, you can rely on Cooper Flag for points as a cutter on fast breaks and stuff like that. Let him get his points that way instead of having to worry about setting everybody up. Let him run free right now. And let D'Angelo be the experienced point guard that can get everybody in their offense and set them up and all that stuff. Don't put that on Cooper Flag right now. It's not working. However, when the game is going and D'Angelo goes to sit down, you can slide Cooper Flag there against non-starters and stuff like that, just to, get him acclimated with it. Right. But let him get off the ball and get the moving and running and posting up and catching and shoot. Let him do all that stuff instead of trying to set stuff up. It's not working. And they're trying to force it. And as soon as they figure out that it's not good to force that, the sooner they get up on the groove. Right. So start D'Lo. And then as a backup, let freaking Brandon Williams come in. This dude can ball. This dude got so much Kyrie to his game. And what perfect way to be ready for Kyrie to come back than everybody playing with a guy that thinks and plays like Kyrie a little bit. So they can be right used to it. So start D'Lo at point, bring Brandon Williams off the bench at point, and every now and then let Cooper Flag, get his touches. And especially if he get a defensive rebound and he just want to run with it, let him do it. But don't try to turn him into Magic Johnson, man. That's not it for him though. That's not it for him. So those are my thoughts, man. I just wanted to get in here really quick and give y'all an episode on this holiday, if you want to call Halloween a holiday. And I think I'll probably see y'all one more time this weekend. For some us, it's going to be some stuff that's going to pop up, right? So I'll probably be back again this weekend, and then definitely on Sunday with our football show, and then I'll see y'all again next week as well. But other than that, man, appreciate y'all. Peace.